Ever get that feeling? Like everyone's speaking a secret language.
Yeah.
You're one crammed with buzzwords that people throw around, kind of like confetti at a tech conference.
Yeah.
We've all been there, right?
Yes.
Nodding along to phrases like synergy and disruptive innovation,
Yeah.
but secretly like wondering if anyone actually knows what they mean.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the modern day Tower of Babel sometimes out there.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's more than just a communication quirk.
Yeah.
This whole buzzword bonanza has some real consequences.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We've got this fascinating article, LinkedIn article from Lynn Frederick Souza, and she calls it the corporate haunted house, right? Where everyone's putting on a brave face, using all the right buzzwords, but behind the facade, there's often, well, a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Kind of spooky, right?
Yeah, it is a little spooky. What's intriguing about Souza's argument, though, is that it goes beyond simply saying, buzzwords are bad. She digs into the why, like why this over-reliance on trendy jargon actually backfires, especially in professional settings.
So it's not just about, like, sounding cool in the boardroom.
Not at all.
Okay.
Souza argues that buzzwords can create this illusion of understanding, almost like, those fake cobwebs and plastic spiders.
Oh, I see.
In D'Souza's haunted house analogy.
Okay.
They create a superficial layer of we get it, when in reality, everyone might be just as lost.
And just like that moment when you bump into the rubber bat in the haunted house and reality sets in, you realize, oh, it's all for show.
Exactly. And that's when the real danger can kick in.
Yeah.
Because in a professional setting, that lack of genuine understanding can have a ripple effect.
So give me an example. Like, how does this actually play out in the real world?
Okay, well, let's take the word sustainability.
Yeah.
It's everywhere these days.
It is.
But if a company slaps that label on their product without any, concrete actions to back it up, consumers eventually catch on.
Right.
That it's all hype and no substance.
So it's like wearing the superhero costume, but forgetting your superpowers.
Right.
You might look the part, but you're not fooling anyone when it's time to save the day.
D'Souza uses this phrase, it's corporate black magic, to describe how some businesses treat buzzwords.
Interesting.
As if just uttering the right words will magically lead to success.
Right, but you can't just sprinkle some innovation dust and expect amazing results to appear, right?
Right.
You got to actually put in the work, the creative problem solving, the real deal.
And that's what often gets lost in the sea of buzzwords.
Yeah.
We become so focused on sounding impressive that we forget to actually be impressive.
It's like that old saying, talk is cheap.
Yeah.
Or in this case, buzzwords are cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It's the actions behind them that truly matter.
I couldn't agree more. And that's where D'Souza's insights become incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
Because she pushes us to think critically about our own relationship with language, especially in a professional context.
So if this buzzword obsession is more than just a harmless annoyance, what's the antidote?
Yeah.
Should we all just ditch the jargon and start speaking in plain English?
Well, D'Souza doesn't necessarily advocate for a complete language overhaul.
Okay.
She recognizes that these buzzwords often represent important and evolving concepts.
Right.
Think, artificial intelligence or cloud computing. These are inherently meaningless terms.
Right.
They stand for powerful ideas that are shaping our world.
So it's less about the words themselves and more about how we use them.
Precisely.
Or misuse them.
It's like thinking about a hammer.
Okay.
It's a useful tool,
Right.
right? But you can use it to build a house.
Yeah.
Or you can use it to, hit your thumb.
Ouch.
The difference is in the intention and the execution.
Okay, I like that. So how do we become more mindful?
Yeah.
More intentional buzzword users? What's the key to wielding that hammer effectively, so to speak?
Well, Souza argues for a two-pronged approach. First, she emphasizes the importance of genuine understanding.
Okay.
If you're going to use a buzzword, especially in a professional setting, take the time to really understand what it means. And I'm not talking about just a superficial Google search definition.
Okay.
Dig deeper.
So do your homework.
Exactly.
Don't just parrot what you heard other people say.
Read articles, have conversations with experts, really get to grips with the nuances of the concept, because only then can you use it authentically and effectively.
What's the second prong of this approach?
The second part is all about application.
Oh.
Buzzwords should never be used in a vacuum.
Right.
They need to be connected to real-world actions, tangible results, and measurable outcomes.
So it's not enough to just talk the talk. You have to walk the walk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're going to use a buzzword like innovation, be prepared to show how you're actually fostering a culture of innovation within your team or company.
Right.
What concrete steps are you taking?
Yeah, what new ideas are you exploring? I'm starting to see how this buzzword issue goes way beyond just sounding smart.
Mm.
It's about accountability,
Yeah.
transparency, and really walking the walk when it comes to these big ideas.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Dusa makes a compelling case for why this matters,
Yeah.
not just for individuals, but for entire organizations.
Right.
Because when buzzwords become a substitute for genuine action, it erodes trust
Yeah.
and undermines progress.
And in today's world where authenticity and transparency are more important than ever, that can be a recipe for disaster.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. If a company is constantly touting its commitment to disruptive innovation, but never actually delivers on that promise, consumers will eventually see through the facade.
It's like that story of the emperor's new clothes.
Right.
Everyone's pretending he's wearing this magnificent outfit when in reality he's standing there in his birthday suit.
Right. And just like in the story, it often takes someone to point out the obvious, that the emperor has no clothes, that the buzzwords are hollow for the truth to come out.
And when that happens, the consequences can be pretty, well, revealing.
Absolutely. And that's why Sousa's message is so important,
Yeah.
especially in today's hyper-connected world,
Right.
because the truth has a way of bubbling to the surface.
Mhm.
And when it does, you want to be on the right side of authenticity.
So how do we avoid falling into this buzzword trap?
Right.
What practical steps can we take to make sure we're using these terms thoughtfully and effectively?
Well, one of the most powerful things we can do is to start by simply being more aware of our own language.
Okay.
Pay attention to the words you use, especially in professional settings.
Mm.
Are you relying on buzzwords as a crutch?
Yeah.
Are you using them accurately and authentically?
Right.
Or are you just trying to sound impressive?
It's like doing a self-audit of your own vocabulary.
Yeah.
Are you guilty of any buzzword blunders? It's like that saying, know thyself, but for your vocabulary.
Exactly. And if you find yourself like reaching for a buzzword, just ask yourself like, could I explain this to someone without resorting to more jargon?
Right.
If not, maybe it's time to brush up on the actual concept.
Yeah, because nothing exposes a buzzword bluff faster than someone asking you to explain it.
It's true. And that's a good thing.
Right.
Those conversations, even if they're a bit humbling, are opportunities for real learning and growth.
Yeah, it's about shifting from this like fake it till you make it mentality with buzzwords to a more know it before you show it approach.
I love that.
Yeah.
And the beauty of knowing it is that you can then share that knowledge in a way that's clear, concise, and actually moves the conversation forward.
Right.
You're not hiding behind jargon, you're contributing to a meaningful dialogue.
Doozy uses this fantastic phrase towards the end of the article. She says, using these trendy terms without understanding them is like reading someone's fortune and pretending you understand their fate.
Wow.
Powerful, right?
What a powerful analogy, yeah. Because it highlights the superficiality of simply parroting words without any real comprehension of their meaning or implications.
It's like trying to navigate with a compass you don't understand. You might look the part, but you're not going to reach your destination.
Right.
And in a professional setting, that destination is often tied to things like innovation, collaboration, and ultimately success.
Right.
So it's in everyone's best interest to kind of ditch the buzzword charade and focus on building a foundation of genuine understanding.
I agree.
So you're saying next time someone throws out a buzzword in a meeting, instead of just nodding along, we should be brave enough to ask, hey, what does that actually look like in practice?
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Because it shifts the focus from vague pronouncements to concrete actions, from superficial impressions to genuine understanding.
It's about moving beyond the corporate haunted house
Yeah.
and into the light of authenticity and clarity.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about recognizing that true expertise lies not in how many buzzwords you can string together,
But in your ability to think critically, communicate clearly, and contribute meaningfully to the conversation. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of buzzwords, let's make a pact to be more mindful, more intentional, and maybe even a little bit braver when it comes to navigating this minefield of trendy jargon.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it's not about sounding impressive. It's about making a real impact.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. What's one buzzword you've used recently, and could you explain it to someone without resorting to another buzzword? Food for thought. Until next time, keep it real, keep it curious, and keep diving deep.